share a little secret now. It's just you and me. We're the only ones here. And nobody knows about this one. I'll share a little secret with you. There are these people in our community, wonderful, wonderful people that a lot of you don't know about, that are always doing something good. The kind of people that you want to follow around, that you want to know, that you want to see more of. You're about to meet one of them, Carol Marian from Bayside Historic Society. She is great. She's got a great personality. She's feisty. You know, we covered her talking to the presentation for the city of Yes. She got up there and she slammed those guys that were making this presentation about the city of Yes. And you felt like that. Like everyone would run. Carol.
And we want us to have a community, not what you are proposing. And your talk was nonsense, double talk. I wrote down many facts. My last statement, I promise all planning commissioners of New York City that I will track down your donors and follow the money trail from the developers to you and to all city council members who are taking donations from these real estate developers. So that is my story. It's double talk, no diversity. We want diversity in zoning. We want to have different zones. We don't want to have all zones the same. TOD, ADU, basement, illegal, drowning people, garbage. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Next up, we have Gregg.
Carol's on a warpath, but she's great, feisty, energetic, smart, caring, loving, wonderful mother, and raised wonderful children. Her daughter-in-law has Forever Dancing, wonderful family. So she volunteers at the Bayside Historic Society, and she's helping keep Lawrence Cemetery going. I'm joining her in this little fundraising effort. But you're about to meet her. She's wonderful. She's one of those people, you know, that is the kind of community neighbor that you love. And she's one of those people that is what makes Bayside great. So if you want to meet someone who makes Bayside great, stay tuned. She's going to be here any second. She doesn't know. Okay, so at the Lawrence Cemetery. We're here with Carol Marian. A wonderful person from the Bayside Historic Society, and we're here in front of the world famous, fabulous, and very historic Lawrence Cemetery. And Carol, it's great to see you.
Thank you, Greg, and I'm so happy that you took an interest in this, and you're going to give us a lot of help. We really appreciate it.
Well, it needs a lot of help. This wonderful cemetery behind us is so important to our community, and it's been here for so long. Tell everybody a little bit about the history of the Lawrence Cemetery.
Okay, well, the Lawrence family were one of the original settlers in Bayside back in the 1600s. The family that was in Bayside in 1830 took some of this little land and made it into their picnic ground called Pine Grove in 1830. It was also made as a burial ground. With the first burial was in 1832. Now, the thing that's so intriguing about this land is it's really what you would call virgin land. The only land really left in Bayside, maybe, that has not been touched by man in any case, other than for the Lawrence family burial ground. Now, in 1967, it was declared a landmark for New York City. Prior to that, the Bayside Historical Society was formed in 1964. This is our 60th anniversary. And one of its mission statement included protecting and saving the Lawrence burial ground. It had been vandalized, the tombstones were knocked over, it was a mess. The organization and actually it was the Army too. We had the Army Corps with Frank Padovan had done the first major cleanup, and I think Gregg already has publicized that on his site. Now we are still caretakers. The problem is that we don't own the cemetery, and we also don't have the city owning it. It belongs to the Lawrence family. But over the years, we have had scout cleanups. We've had Eagle Scout projects. We've had tours, we've had reenactors. One thing I want everybody to know is that we have buried here the first popularly elected mayor of New York City. That is really quite something. We also have the former head of a stock exchange in the 1830s. Oh, by the way, that mayor was Cornelius Lawrence Van Wyck, and it was about, I don't have my numbers in front of me, but in the 1830s also. I think it was 38 and 39. So we have a very, very special goal here is to, number one, have people become aware of it, where it is, and how special it is. And also, we do have to do some major renovations. We've tried to get grant money. We have been trying to get money through the city. We have not been too successful. We've been counting on donations from local people. And that's what we're hoping to try to do again, is to set up a fundraising effort.
You know something?
That's it.
Anything that's worth preserving is going to cost. Unfortunately, the upkeep of it, the fence, trees fall down after years. They fall on the fence. Fence needs to be fixed, needs to be repaired, needs to be paid for. The only way this gets paid for is by donations. And I've kind of gotten the impression that the hallmark of a wonderful community are the people who volunteer and donate to its value. Keeping the historic sites like this kept well is very, very valuable to us, to our history. It adds to the richness of our lives, and then we pass it on to people to benefit from us. And those people who are benefiting from those who came before should join us and pitch in. And talking about pitching in, we have a very special person here. I'm going to call her over here, Rosemary Zimmerman. Rosemary, come here. And stand right here. So,
Yeah.
come here. So this is Rosemary Zimmerman. She's this little angel that does all these things that people don't know about. This one day, I'm going to talk. Be prepared to blush.
Sure.
Prepare to blush. So I'm driving to the post office, and as we go down that little thing between Chase and the post office, there's a little Long Island Railroad house, and there's a bank of flower pots there. And I see this little woman putting flowers in there, and I stopped and I backed up and I was looking and said, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing?" Rosemary. And she every time you see something really beautiful around town, she's probably involved. You've been involved with this cemetery, helping out for a long time, right?
Yeah, probably over 30 years. I live about a block and a half away from here. I grew up here as a kid and loved this area. And we used to walk over the trestle. There used to be a trestle here to go to church.
I love that
And
trestle. I used to ride my bicycle up and over and
yeah,
carry
it
the
was
bike up
really
and look at the
nice.
trains
Yeah.
go underneath it.
It's a lovely area, and we kept the original house that we bought here back in I guess it was the 80s, around the 80s, and we still live here, and my family's here, and my son is 30 years old, so we've been living here. Actually, wait, let me correct that. My son is 40 years old, so we've been living here a long time, and it really is very historic, and we have a lot of people that volunteer. Carol and her crew and just everybody. When you go over to the Historic Society, it's really magnificent to see it. It really is beautiful.
And it's got such great history to it. Come a little close. So Carol, tell us about the gate.
Yes, so we have a long story, but I'll make it short. So back in the 60s, there was a convent of St. Joseph's Convent, downtown Flushing, in the Casino Boulevard area where the library is now. So it used to then also be a high school for 2 years, which I went to, by the way, Bishop McDonald. Now, when they closed the property and they were going to sell it off, they had this beautiful wrought iron fence. We had one of our members was aware of it and said, "Oh, we have to go get that fence." And so, long story short, here we are with the fence, the original fence from the convent of St. Joseph's that was in downtown Flushing. The gates are beautiful.
What would
They
you think
do-
about a plaque that actually says Large Cemetery
Yeah,
on it?
Yes, we need a lot of things. This has to all be repainted, but I do want to mention we need volunteers, but we really need professional help too. We need help
That's-
with, you know.
you don't want to admit that to people.
Huh?
A little joke, professional help.
Oh,
You know,
well, professional gardening, tree service.
gardening help. Contractors.
Yeah. We can't do all the volunteer work. It's just not realistic. There's too much maintenance. There's too much horticultural professional help and things like that. Okay.
So, sorry,
And-
I had to
and-
jump on that little joke,
Yeah.
but
And-
we
and
all
when-
need professional help at some
And when
point or
people
another.
come here to help, they love it because it's so historic. They get to see things and they can go back when school comes up and talk about it. That it's so interesting that in Bayside, which is, I mean, a commute to heaven here because you got the Long Island Railroad, and to live in such a historic area that these wonderful people really have been maintaining and helping, and the kids from the school help also. It means a lot. It means a lot to an area, and to keep it, you want to keep it this way.
It enriches the quality of your life. It will improve the quality of your life. Carol?
And the other thing is Bayside Historical does run tours. We have something hopefully planned for the fall. We have a live reenactors who dress up as the mayor and so on. We also have a memorial, the memorial plaque for the Native American Indian who worked with the Lawrence family. His name was Moccasin Lawrence. So there's a lot of history here. We've had school kids come here and do some grave rubbing, but that's another problem that takes money, is the restoration of the names of the graves on there. It's a big job.
There's a project that we're looking at now, which is to restore the facades, the faces of them, to put their names back. Come a little closer and tell us the way they do this
It's the
now.
latest thing now in historical preservation, since you really can't inscribe the names on the limestone tombs. You do something that's a little different now, and they make a new granite plaque at the base of the tombstone with the name and everything else that's on it.
So, and that's going to look beautiful when it's done, but it does need help. It does need donations. We're going to give you a link to the Bayside Historic Society where you can donate money for this specific project. And when you get a chance, you should come down here with the Bayside Historic Society, because it is very enriching. Looking at the names, reading the tombstones, seeing who was here, the years that they were here, the Indian heritage that helped. Tell us just before we go, tell us about the Indian. Oh, okay. So
he was a worker for them.
He worked with the he was Moccasin, and he worked with the Lawrence family, but he was original indigenous Indian from Bayside. Great heritage stuff found right here. So thank you, Carol. Thank you, and thank you, Rosemary.
You're welcome.
It's I really appreciate what you guys do so much, and you should too. These people are wonderful citizens doing wonderful things. You should join them and donate to this fundraiser.